A few days ago, I had a very strange dream. I was standing on a long, narrow road that led to my school. It was strangely quiet, with no wind, no singing birds, and no buzzing insects. The road was completely empty, and there was no one around. I started walking down it. That's when I got a strange feeling that someone was watching me. Glancing back over my shoulder, I noticed a small human figure. The person seemed to be running at full speed. I kept walking forward, but each time I looked back, the person was closer and closer to me. The whole situation started to make me very nervous. He just kept gaining on me, closer and closer. At one point, I stopped and looked back. The person also stopped. He just stood in the middle of the road, staring at me. When I started walking again, the person ran after me. Eventually, he got close enough that I could make out his face. It was a clown. One of those sad clowns you see in pictures. He was wearing a tattered hat and a worn-out coat, like a vagrant. The way he looked at me really scared me. And for a moment, I thought if he catches me, I'm done for. I wanted to run, but for some reason, I couldn't. My legs had become heavy, and I could barely lift them. All I could do was keep walking like before. The clown was getting closer and closer. The next time I looked back, I could see his eyes. They were crying. I saw my school in the distance and felt relieved. Something told me that if I could make it there before the clown caught me, I would be saved. When I was at the main school gates, I glanced back one last time. The clown was right behind me. He grabbed my shoulder and spun me around. The most frightening thing was his face. It wasn't angry at all. Rather, it was a desperate, doomed look. Tears were streaming down his painted cheeks. "I caught you," he said. Then, to my surprise, he just let me go and started to walk away. And I was left standing there in total bewilderment. How could I have been so stupid? I had been afraid for no reason. I started to chuckle to myself. The clown stopped and looked back. He took out a rusty knife from his pocket and held it up to his face. "And if I catch you a second time, you'll be in trouble. The third time, I'll have to do away with you. See you soon." Having said that, the clown wiped the tears from his face and left. I woke up in a cold sweat. Since having this dream, I've been too scared to go back to sleep. For days, I've been drinking coffee, trying not to fall asleep even for a moment. I'm afraid to close my eyes even for an instant. I'm scared that if I dream again, the clown will be waiting for me. My mom always imagined that someone was watching her whenever she did something. She was very scared, but I thought my mom was just a little unstable, until I became convinced of it myself. Mom went away for work for a day. Dad was on a business trip. I, as usual, came home from school, did all my chores, and sat down to watch TV. And suddenly, my eyes started closing. And then a shadow flashed by in the hallway. First, it went into the kitchen. I thought I was starting to fall asleep and was having hallucinations, but the shadow passed back the other way. I became very scared, turned up the TV volume, and wanted to just go to sleep already, but I desperately wanted a drink. I had to go to the kitchen. I didn't turn off the TV because I was afraid. I came back to the living room with a cup of water, but the TV was off. I turned it back on again. Then the light bulb exploded, even though the light was off. I realized I was left without light. The window opened. I went to the balcony to close it. It was closed. What should I do? I started gathering my things to go to my friend's house. I packed a bag and got dressed, took my keys, phone, and turned the latch. The door won't open. I tried opening it with the key, but nothing worked. It was like it wasn't letting me out. And now I was at an impasse. My head started spinning, and I lost consciousness. And I don't remember anything else. I came to already in the hospital. Traumatic brain injury, multiple lacerations all over my body. What happened to me? I still can't remember.